this is it, guys. This is my last episode on mine and Chris's adventures in Tokyo. Oh, so sad. But I had a blast and I love Japan and I can't wait to go back. Again, disclaimer, just in case you haven't watched the last episode, all of this was filmed at the end of December, beginning of January, before there was shelter in place and there was anything shut down, and before this pandemic, even before we knew about it, what was going on. Second disclaimer, just in case you haven't watched any of the previous episodes, when I was filming, I was about 40 pounds down from my highest weight, which was 350. So I believe it was 310, 300, somewhere within there, while I was filming. So if you're wondering why I look bigger in those than I do here, that would be why. I am going to do a weigh-in Wednesday soon. I have been putting that on the back burner because it hasn't been my focus, but I don't think focus is the right word. Everything else has just been so heavy on me with this pandemic and trying to get these videos finished, and then my next video that's going to come out is mostly like just me, really raw, hair not done, makeup not done, on my exercising routine, so I'm heavy breathing, like it's just really raw, and that's just what I felt like doing. So if you guys are really disappointed that I haven't done a weigh-in Wednesday, I do deeply apologize. If it's something you really want, comment and I'll do one sooner than I'm planning. Because I know I am going to go back to doing it, but if you guys want it now, I will happily do that. I can do that for you guys. So just let me know if you are disappointed in anything. I will do my best to make you happy. Okay, so again, if you saw my last video, that was mostly about all the food that Chris and I had eaten and some of our adventures for that day. This video is going to be of like the last 2-3 things that didn't really fit in the last video because there wasn't any food taking place. So after we checked out of the hotel where we were staying at with Chris's family, we had left Roppongi, Tokyo, and we had gone to Ginza, Tokyo. And it was pouring rain that day. It was awful. So we had gotten to our new hotel. Our rooms weren't ready yet, so we had left our luggage and we had gone to where we could walk from the hotel to an owl cafe. So I do apologize. All the video from footage is me with my hair pulled back and my clothes sopping wet. So it is not very good looking. We didn't have a chance to clean up. We literally woke up, put on clothes, packed up all of our suitcases, and tried to check into our next hotel. But their rooms weren't ready yet, so I didn't have an option to get ready, and by the time we got to this owl cafe, I looked a haggard mess. But it's cute owls, so I had to put it up anyway. So I did want to talk about the owl cafe before anyone thinks that I didn't do my research. I would never just go to any animal specific cafe without doing my research prior. And if I'm not capable of doing research prior, like if I'm trying to Google something and it's mostly in Japanese and I can't get Chris to translate properly, I ask questions. So I spoke to this woman the best of my abilities in English, and then Chris did everything else talking to her in Japanese. So I want you to know all these owls are rescue owls. She has a very specific license. Now, when we had a conversation, she did mention that there's a license required to have them as either pets or have them for this cafe. I can't remember which belongs to which, but I know she has a license. And she has a license either because specifically this cafe or because she's been rescuing owls for so long. She's been rescuing owls for about 10 years. And so all of her owls would not survive in the wild. They've already been bred in captivity and they only know captivity. Her little mini rescue organization takes owls specifically that are from... There's just people. So loud. This is also why it's really hard to film when everybody is home. So what was I saying? So all the owls are rescues. These owls were bred in captivity and they're usually taken from neglectful owners who aren't caring for them properly, who don't know how to care for an owl, probably woke up one day and said, I want a pet owl, and then realized that it's a lot of hard work. So she loves her owls very, very much, and she knows all of their personalities. All of them have names. She pays very close attention to the behavior and responses of her owls. She wasn't overbearing when we were interacting with them, but she was right there to make sure we felt comfortable and also that they felt comfortable. So she's a wonderful owl owner, cafe owner. I highly recommend her if you are in Tokyo to come to this specific owl cafe. So I also want to point out, there are ropes around most of the owl's ankles, and she only keeps the ropes on there for if they get too crowded. She only lets a certain amount of people in the cafe to begin with, but if she feels like it's a little on the crowded side, the smaller ones will get clipped down so that they don't move too far and somebody accidentally kicks them. But for the most part, even though the ropes are there on their wrists, they aren't actually tied down that often at all, because at one point it was just Chris and I, and all of them, if they chose to leave one perch to go to another or leave a perch and get on the floor and walk around on the floor, they all had the right to do so. So I fully understand that the ropes are necessary for their safety, and it might not look the greatest. From the owl's body language, there was nothing telling me that they were uncomfortable or unhappy. Oh, and one last disclaimer. Although most of these cafes are called cafes, they're not really cafes, okay? So don't come here expecting to eat. There's no food, there's no drinks to order. That's just too dangerous to have food there that the owl could accidentally eat and get him or her sick. Okay, so after Chris and I left our bags at the hotel, we had wandered our way over to the Owl Cafe, and as you can see, it was only an 11-minute walk. And the cafe is called Owl Cafe Ginza. I know, not a very fancy name, but that is the cafe if you are in Tokyo and you would like to look up this specific cafe that Chris and I went to. It's so cute. So cute. Oh, you pretty eyes. Right. They're so cute. Yes. Oh, the mirror. Oh. 鏡に映ったのが分かってそう誰か分かってない。The biggest owl at the cafe carries around this cute little stuffed bunny. I think it's a bunny. But he hides it in the corner, and at one point the lady tells Chris that when they get full, they hide their food in the corner, and so sometimes he will hide his toy in the corner. So it was really cute. She, she goes and picks him up and plays with him a bit. Yeah.
One more try. Try again.
Yeah, nice.
아, そうやってバランスするんだ。
ちょっとバランスを崩させて落ち着けば羽を取る。
Oh, they're big. And so, like I said, this cafe is not actually a cafe, so we had spent quite a few hours there. We had time to kill. We couldn't check into our hotel room, so when we left, we were really hungry. So we'd gone back to our hotel, we had cleaned up, changed, dried my hair off, taken off my clothes because they were soaking wet, and we had walked to a restaurant around the corner, which I guess this technically could have gone in the last video, but it just felt weird shoving it in there because there was no context for what we were doing before. But Chris had taken me to this restaurant, this like fast food restaurant that just does like a rice bowl with like fried foods on top. So I picked fried shrimp and an egg, and I picked the smallest bowl as possible, but still I couldn't eat. Chris ate all of his and then he ate half of mine. Just smile. So in the middle of our trip, we had taken off to Tokyo Sea. My mother has made it very clear that she wants to visit all the Disneylands in all the countries, so we decided to just do Tokyo Sea, and Tokyo Sea is not the same as Disneyland. There are a couple of rides that are a little bit similar, but it's not the same. So actually coming here, I was really nervous about it. I had done months of research before we left to know if I was gonna fit. That's like my biggest fear, is being at an amusement park and being asked to get off the ride. And my fear was even more heightened because Japan is not fat-friendly country. Not that anyone would berate me, but everything is meant for small. The restaurants are small. Getting through tables are really small. It's people in Japan are just smaller. So I get it. So I was extremely worried, and I had done a lot of research online, and I had read that some of them were on the small side. So I was really nervous, but I wanted to go. So I went and I sucked it up, and it was actually really effing awesome. I got every ride I wanted to get on, I got on. We're at Disney Sea, Tokyo. Okay guys, so we're in line for, what is it called? Sea Rider Journey, and Chris asked for me at the front of the line if I could see if I could fit on the ride, in a private area, so we don't have to do it in front of everybody and we don't have to wait in a long line. And so it's kind of like a theater type ride, and they pulled me aside, or took me to the back, and I fit. So we're in line, we're gonna go on this ride, and I'm really excited. We're in line for 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and from what we could tell it's some kind of submarine that goes under the water. I'm assuming kind of like the Finding Nemo ride in Disneyland, but there's no seatbelt, so I'm going on it. So if it isn't obvious, Disneyland Tokyo Sea is literally right on the coast. There is a huge dam that keeps the ocean waves from splashing into the side of the amusement park, but there is a bridge that allows you to walk. You can see the ocean in the way it is right up against this amusement park. It's really pretty. Okay, so we're still here at Tokyo Disney Sea, and just wanted to give you guys a little bit of update. We went to another ride called Journey to the Center of the Earth, and again, Chris asked for me if we could see if I fit, and I fit. Only problem is it's a 2-hour wait. So we came over to Tower of Terror to see if maybe we can get anywhere better. And unfortunately, it is also a 2-hour wait to get on the ride. So the good news is every ride that we've gone to that had like a seatbelt of some kind, they pulled us aside politely, took me to the exit of the ride, and had me try to see if I fit separate away from everybody after people had already exited. So it was really nice for privacy for me. And the really cool thing is that I am beginning to fit on all the roller coasters again. Downside is every ride is 2 hours. So the last two main rides are Tower of Terror and Journey to the Center of the Earth, and there is another ride called Raging Spirits. Earlier in the afternoon, that was a 2-hour wait, so we might head that way at some point to see. That's the only ride I haven't confirmed, and when I did do research online, I did hear that was a pretty tight fit, so I don't know about that one. But we're really enjoying being here. Just sucks it's so busy. Right? And here is my little souvenir evidence that I did in fact get on this ride, and I did fit. The other couple rides that we had gone on, they didn't have a camera thing, so I don't have any evidence. I hope you guys can just trust that I did fit on these rides. So that's pretty much it for the end of this episode. There is more after my little outro. This is specifically, I'm not sure how to describe the next part of the video. Chris and I were hanging out with his friends that, you know, he had met online, and if you watch my last episode, you'll see that we had gone out to dinner. So they had decided to meet us at the airport and pick us up and drive us around. They wanted to go shopping specifically at a gaming store to buy a game together so they can all play together when they got home. Everyone who knows me and knows Chris knows that Chris doesn't talk very much. I mean, he talks a shit ton to me, but yeah, I wanted to leave this in. It's really raw footage. I didn't really edit it. We're in the car. They're speaking to each other in Japanese back and forth, and there are bits and pieces that I do understand, so you'll hear me laugh at a couple things. But as soon as I put the camera on Chris, he instantly shuts up, and you'll catch it. So most of the time I'm either filming his friend the back seat because he can't see me, or I'm filming outside. So if you don't want to watch any of this, that's totally fine. I didn't do much to this. I wanted it in there, and I'm not sure why, but it wasn't enough to give it its own video, so I'm just kind of slapping it at the end of this one. So if you would like to hear Chris converse in Japanese a little bit, enjoy the next couple minutes of the video. But if you don't want to, that's fine. You can stop it here. This is the end. I love you guys. Like this video, share, comment, ask me questions. I love feedback. If there's anything you want to see from me, let me know. This is the end of our little episodes of Japan. I hope you guys stick around to see what else I can come up with. But I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.
会話でよく
日本
言う
でみたいな感じじゃないなん
いや
とか
違う、それウェル
そうなの
しかしだからみたいな
そうだから
そうしてるよ
だ I will go 羽田そう
なんでそう使ったの？
Not so. What is he trying to
なんで
say?
そう
we say why you use so.
そう
I would say two if like he wants to do something.
Yeah.
Two.
He's trying to make an
英語は
example
ね
to him, so it's like, why you use so?
変えようかな。
頑張って覚えたいけどね難しいのよ耳が慣れないのよ
であれで英語で会話しながらゲームつなげてやればいい。
いや無理もう途中でだんだんイライラしてきていやもうちょっといいよ
何言ってんの
そ日本語喋ってるもう分かんないわってなりそう
そしたらアメリカのハボもできるようになるから。
アメリカはもう楽しくないよ。
楽しくない？
カジノないんだよね
一度、そう、カジノも、
ない
うん、もう
ない
だからもう
作ったら、もう、
終わりみたいな。
終わり。
じゃあやる意味ないじゃんあそこ
ね。壁も最初から作られてるし。
そうそう。
やる意味ない
そのルール2、3年前に多分作られた、できちゃったと思う。
ユニクロのダウンと検索。
なんかね形容詞との使い分けが難しいよねあの英語はだからレアリーとあとはトゥルー本当トゥルー本当じゃん
本当。It's
だ
true.
から本当にとさ本当
あ、そう、true.
そうトゥルー
ルールは正解か不正解かでしょ。
あと
あるいは本当だ。
トゥルーとコレク
Honto
ト
is more like
コレク
really?
ト
Yeah,
コレクトも正解じゃん
true, like,
あれコレクトって正解
Okay.
コレクト
コレクトは集める。correct。
コレクション。
正しいよな正しい
正しい。
正しいは correct。
そうコレクトと
そう
トゥルーが
コレクト
俺はもう一緒じゃんと思う本当のこと
わかんない。
They're trying collect and correct.
Oh, yeah.
トゥルーも
Because it's R's and L's.
Yeah.
どっちを使っていいのかがもう分かんなくなる
Intern and
だから
paper.
カナダ行ったじ
Is
ゃん
this collect?
その時はもう喋れないから動詞だけ覚えてCan I なんちゃら Can I なんちゃらってずっと言ってくんだけどその後答えられないイエスしか言えない Can I なんとかってなんとかなんとかって言ってた
聞き取れるけど喋れない。
OK とかNo thank you Can I から始めて仕掛けるけど帰ってきたらもう殺される自分から仕掛けて
もう終わり。
であと最初にホームステイ先で話した時はもうコンビニどっかないのって言おうとしてなんかゼアアゼかアゼ
あぜや。
ベコンビニエンストラニアヒアみたいな感じで聞いて合ってるかわかんないアゼ
Are there?
大体仕事同士が合ってれば。
そうアゼ何々があるってゼアでしょゼア
そうそう
だからアゼ反対だからアゼアゼコンビニエンストラニアヒアなんかさ、なんか全然聞き取れなかったけど、セブンイレブン、セブンはあると。セブンは
セブンがあると。
どっかにセブンがとりあえず歩いて、一周してセブン見つけたよ。どっかにセブンがあったから。あとなんか貸してくれ、なんか DVD とか見たくて、だから借りるってボロー。だから Can you でしょ。だから優しく言う Could you borrow?
Netflix.
Your DVD みたいな感じで言ったら、あ、いっぱいあるから選んでいいよみたいな感じで言われて、This one. OK。
代用詞使う。
あとそういうことで Anything else? って言われるわけ。Anything else? だから、Anything else? もう分かんないわけよ。あとはなんかどうぞもう一個もっとで、あと2、3個と捕まって。Anything else? って
他にも
そう長いけどと思ってもう Anything else 発音かっけえなと思って Anything else はやばいよあとリルビは本当にやばかった
何リルビ
リルビリトルビットもうそれこの間言ったんだけどリトルビットってさ、発音ね
リトルビットって
少しそういうことそうリトルにビットで噛むビットってビットだけどそれをリルビっていうつなげんのよもう分かんないじゃんで書いてもらってCould you write down? って Could you write down what you say? って書いてもらって リトルビット。
リトルビット。
リルビット
それで分かったんだ。それで分かった。それで分かったんだ。
そうそう、だから書いてもらわないと分かんないね。
ん
そうだからなんか分かんない。もう、Could you write down what you say? 発音いい。発音いい。
聞き取れた。
だから書いてっつって。Could you
Yeah,
write
right.
down what you
He was
say?
saying a little bit, and then he saw the
全部書いても
T's.
らって。
いや。
T's, and he goes, huh?
それは先生。あ、違う、ホームステイの
あホームステイ
時にもう全部書いてもらわないともう分かんない。書かないと調べられないし。でそのホームステイだけが字汚くてさ、もう分かんないのよ、何書いてるか。殴りかけで、うわーって。通じると嬉しいね。Can I use credit card?
クレジットカード。
もう全部クレジット。
クレジット。
Can I use my of my credit card? なんかそんな感じになるみたいな。あとはなんかよく日本人ってさ謝るじゃん、ごめんなさいって、すいませんみたいな、そのつもりでさ、sorry sorry sorry って言ったら、no excuse me no sorry excuse me なんかそこを使い分けしなきゃいけない。
すみません
そうそうそう
ごめんなさいね。
日本はすいません、あごめんなさいとか言って通るけど、そういう文化はないから。
はいそうだねエクスキューズ
そうそう、excuse me。
sorry no
だから
sorry
声かけるときはエクスキューズ
そう excuse me
通ったりしてちょっとどいてみたいな
I think because Americans say sorry if they
本当
bump
にごめん
you.
な謝る。
That's why he said in Japan we also say すみません which is
Excuse me.
sorry too.
Uh-huh.
So he
日
was
本
like
は
saying
sorry sorry
I'm
って
sorry,
言う
sorry
から
as
ご
in
めんなさい excuse
excuse
me
me.
Oh, in English?
So that's why the exchange when he was an exchange student,
Oh,
the person he was
living with.
living with told him no. Excuse me.
Oh, okay. When he wants to get by.
Yeah.
Sorry is like after you bump them.
Yeah.
どうする時間結構まだあるけどあと30分
いや、まあ、15にフライトだから、
あまあそうか
14.5ぐらいなんだよね、本当は。で、多分入るの。1時間ぐらい。
まあセキュリティチェックとか結構時間かかるからな。
多分このまま下ろすか。
このままでも下ろ
写真だ
して
け撮って、
確かに
写真撮ろうよ。
写真撮ろう
せっかくだから。ブナピー来たから。
砂漠のトップ画像
やばいだろ、それ。砂漠砂漠を。
誰が作っ
いやなんか砂漠はちょっとなんかゲームの中で写真でしょ。
たの？写真。
いやでも楽しかったね。英語を話すきっかけがあれば話すようになると思うんだよね。
まあそうだね
だから俺はさビクトリアに色違い何匹いるのっていうのを俺は必死にさ何ていうか考えて、でもそんなに難しい言葉じゃないじゃん。
まあまあまあ
だからオブジェクトに答え合わせしたよね。で俺考えたやつは多分合ってんだよね。
多分合ってるよね
合ってる合ってる。
How many Chinese Pokemon do you have? じゃあそれを2個の普通の文章をつなげなきゃいけないじゃん。How many Chinese Pokemon do you have? だけど持ってるのだから最初に言うのは Do you have Chinese Pokemon? だからあなた持ってますか？何匹のってなるとそこからくっつけなきゃいけないからだからまず How many Chinese Pokemon do you have? Do you have を最後につなげないといけない。文法が難しいで。日本には文法がほぼないからさ。
確かに日本だと後付けしても伝わっちゃうから
そう
でも日本の方が簡単だよね後から言えるじゃん
そう後からなんかつなげれるから結構簡単。
だ英語だとそれ通じなくなるから。でも多分感じ取ってくれると思うけど何言ってるかは。遊園地か公園にしてもらう。
時間ないよそう。
さすがにね。No ないね。どうすっかな。
何回？
Probably 1:30.
じゃあ戻るか。
Oh, it's 1:10.
横浜まで行けないし
戻るか。
一旦戻るか
じゃあ戻ろう。
うん まあドライブできたってことで
Oh, was he looking for another place?
Yeah, but yeah, like two.
Oh,
I want
Nice.
to be like
yeah.
2.